Hello and welcome to the fifth installment of Aaron Walker Art Talk. I'm, of course, Aaron Walker, and today I'm joined yet again by Sarah Iddings.
Hey.
So Sarah has chosen Riot for this episode. Sarah, do you want to go ahead and explain why you chose that?
I chose Riot because it stood out to me as being reminiscent of like some of the paid protests that have happened. And it makes me think of one of those protesters who would have been in one of those big riots that got super violent. And he's just there like, I'm not actually protesting. I'm just like, yeah, party on.
Right.
And I feel like I just imagined it being like kind of a statement piece of the attitude of some of these people who are just like, I don't really care what I'm fighting. I just want to fight.
Well, absolutely. And coincidentally enough, that's kind of what the motivation was, although I think on a more like subconscious level. So I made this when I believe either like my senior year of high school or my first year of college. And at that time, I was much more involved in like radical politics. And I was very much drawn to the images that I was seeing in the media at the time. And I believe that this particular reference picture comes from the conflicts in Kiev around 2014, when, of course, like the Russian government was like sniping civilians that had like steel shields and like what fire all over the place. And you have this image of this young man like in a gas mask throwing up devil horns, like it's a riot, it's a party.
Wow.
And this is part of a series of cardboard paintings that I did, all of which include either like police or protesters and fire. And it was a series on conflict. And so, yeah, I think on a subconscious level at the time, I was drawn to that sort of atmosphere of just like chaos in its, in the aspect of freedom there. But then also just like, it's almost like a party scene, like you said. Like we're here to just like turn up.
Yeah. So why did you choose cardboard of all mediums?
So cardboard, I started working with around 2012 or 2013 when I was in high school. I went to a like residential like life school, a boarding school for gifted youngsters, and called Ellis MSA. It's a lovely school, but I didn't have like a lot of money for like canvas and acrylic. So the first like major paintings I did were on cardboard with house paint, right? Huh. And so like this one was done. I'll just go ahead and show it for this camera and for this one. But it's right here. And it's actually, you'll notice on the back of like a refrigerator box.
Oh, wow.
Because everyone like in this dormitory had refrigerators, right? Everyone got these refrigerators in like the first day of class or whatever, and then they would throw out the cardboard, and then I would go and like yank it out of the trash or whatever.
It's a good way to mine some art piece.
It's a good way to what?
It's a good way to mine some art supplies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I suppose like initially it came from necessity, but from the technical side, from the artistic side, I really like cardboard because it's a good medium color, like a good neutral kind of tone to start out with. And so like the hands, eyes, and ears of this subject aren't filled in. That's just the color.
I was thinking that was how you did that.
So yes, exactly. So
it worked out very nicely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And cardboard also will soak acrylic up very quickly, and then also will kind of make it less glossy if it happens to be a glossy acrylic. And so,
really?
Well, at least in my experience.
That's interesting.
And so it will soak it up, and it will also make it more of a pastel because of that. So it kind of sucks out the gloss element of the acrylic. It makes it pastel.
Cool.
So I would consider even going back to cardboard at some point, but I think it might lower.
Has it been a while?
Huh?
Has it been a while since you've done cardboard?
Oh, yes, ma'am. It's been years.
Really, like, I feel like for this one especially, the cardboard it really helps make the piece. Because it's just kind of like there's this ragtag group of protesters who are just in it to go shout at something. And they're the kind of people who would just be like, whatever, I'm just going to go make signs with cardboard.
There's a punk rock element to it that I really like. And actually, on some of the other cardboard pieces that I've made, I try to accentuate that. So I'll like fray the edges of the cardboard or like even like punch holes in it or what have you to give it a kind of, you could say, punk rock aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. That is super cool. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I had any other questions about this piece. Like, it's so straightforward.
Sure. I still like it. I mean,
really cool.
It's not one of my most like technically elegant pieces, and there's things that I would certainly do different today. But even like in terms of impressionism and punk rock, which I should write an essay someday about how these things are interconnected. But the strokes are very like kind of not haphazard necessarily, but very intentful. Like, and so like a lot of these lines like aren't even fully there because
that's true.
You do it the first time and that's how it is. So I think like all those things kind of come together in what like imitative form.
Just all of the elements from like the style to the mediums that you use, like all of it is just like super edgy.
For sure.
And I feel like that would be kind of the mindset of the person in this painting. Just like, I'm just going to go rock the world.
For sure. Well, all right, Sarah. Do you think that's about it on this piece?
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next episode. Okay.
Thank you.